All right, let's bring in our A-plus panel to break this down. Bill Caruso, good to have you here, Bill. Thanks for, it's going to be a long introduction here with all of you here. Jeanette Hoffman is back. Great to have you.
Thanks.
Bob Bianchi, former Morris County prosecutor, and Laura Nanos, columnist for lawnews.com. Jeanette, let me start with you. You are the lone Republican here.
I know, I'm lucky.
It was, a bit of a wipeout, I would think, across the board. Westfield mayor, lost Jen Beck's seat. I mean, right down the line. I know Adam said, look, it's historical, the pendulum swings. I think he's right about that, but it doesn't look so good right now.
No, and I think a lot of Republicans, and I'll blame the Republican organization here in New Jersey, kind of sat this one out. I mean, they had 8 years of Chris Christie. I think a lot of people burnt out on that. They wanted change. I also think the Republican brand isn't exactly very popular right now.
Bob, you were there as Phil Murphy took the stage and did a little dance or a jump or something. You were downright giddy on Twitter. Your socks, the whole thing.
Yeah, well, the socks, every time I wear them, the governor always gets elected. And so I'm glad I was there. It was a great energy, positive message. This guy came from nothing in his life and acceded to high levels in business. I mean, he went out there to the last minute in campaign.
Bill, this sounds like a campaign commercial for his re-election, but is this, does this look to you like maybe the second term of John Corzine? John Corzine was there. His transition chairman is going to be out there potentially doing the same job for Murphy, and the guy campaigned on high taxes.
Listen, the Democratic Party in this state is filled with a bunch of folks that have been veterans in the party and then some newcomers. And I think you're going to see this administration be a blend of that. There's some good talent on the bench that's going to go into this administration. I think you're going to see some new folks coming up. And I think Bob's an example of the excitement in the Democratic Party right now. We have a new governor coming in.
Very excited. We all are. Hey, Laura, are you excited? I mean, you got a guy that campaigned on high taxes, and he spent more than $20 million to get there. So he bought an election, and we're not going to pay for his promises.
I don't want to say that he bought the election. I think he did a good job, and I'm cautiously excited. I think he has good ideas. I think he's capable. But more than anything else, I'm always excited when I see friends, family, community members come out and vote. And I did see people sharing their vote, being proud of having voted, and I think that's important.
I think the good news today, legislative leadership is the next big fight coming, right? It seems that the Senate president's going to be sworn in tomorrow, and there's work going on right now in the Assembly speakership. The governor's going to work with these new leaders, and they're going to come to a compromise on what needs to get done.
4 years and a wake-up. We'll see. Thanks, guys. All right, let's bring back the A-plus panel. Laura, what do you think? I mean, is it really, I hate to be cynical, but it seems to me that you're going to have people on both sides of the aisle saying, hey, we fought you, but you know what? I could use a paycheck.
Well, that's the way it goes, though, isn't it? I mean, isn't that the entire point of electing somebody? You know, you try to get close to the person, and then you hope that they win so that you can throw your hat into the ring. I mean, that's politics.
It was always about jobs, but back in the day, the governors tried to, with the highest level jobs, attorney general, prosecutor, judges, pick the very best. There's thousands of jobs they can give to other people, but what we've seen is an inversion. We've just seen, in my opinion, respectfully, people that are, with all due respect, political hacks getting these high-level policy jobs, and ultimately they embarrass the governor when they make mistakes.
Interesting point, Bob. Jeanette, address that for a minute, because you can go back to McGreevey and some of the appointments he made. I mean, that resulted in scandals. Christie, some of the hacks that got jobs at the Port Authority, etc.
I think that's a challenge, especially for Phil Murphy, who doesn't have government experience governing a state like New Jersey. You need to look at people who are expertise in different subject areas and not just your campaign staff, because going from campaign to governing, two completely different things. So when you put in the political campaign people, that's when you run into trouble.
Think about the experts and where we are as a state. I mean, we've been going broke now for the better part of the last 25 years. Is it time for real fresh blood to get in there? Maybe it's time to throw out the hacks.
Yeah, to some extent, but I'll say this to you. It's not everybody's a hack. And I'll say this about campaign. Campaign is a different experience than running a government, but you're operating in a political environment. And if you don't have some experience in understanding how these people get elected, you're not going to be able to manage the government well. So I think there is some blend between government and politics, but Murphy's going to pick people on a bipartisan basis. He's going to pick people with different geographies.
Do you think maybe he'll hire a couple math teachers that will help reconcile the $1.3 billion in tax increases to the $15 billion in spending?
Sure, in the Treasury Department.
I'm just speculating.
In the Treasury Department.
Right,
you don't want those folks in the communications world.
Let me bring back the A-plus panel. Laura, start with you. It seems to me that this idea, I mean, sack the hacks is a great hashtag. I love it. I love a good hashtag. But the reality is, with so many political interests and so many donors and so many people now saying, hey, we helped you get there, everybody from local donors to Democratic operatives to Hillary Clinton taking credit, and everybody wants a job, how is the new governor going to actually be able to fire people without political repercussions?
Well, I mean, I think there's always repercussions, but what we have to hope is that our elected officials look at organizations like New Jersey Transit, like the Department of Education, like many things in New Jersey, and say that their first priority is to do a good job. And if that means getting rid of, fat at the top, if that means delving in and seeing what can be done in the middle of the ranks,
would you agree it
that
takes
they
a
have
little
to
bit
do
of courage to make some of those decisions?
It absolutely does.
Now, Bob, does it bother you that your guy seems to lack courage? I mean, he wouldn't come on and talk to us on the show, wouldn't talk on the radio, and, it's pretty much spoken sound bites the entire
his father is very courageous.
Extremely unfair comment, Bill, even for you, but nevertheless, I agree with Laura. We need integrity and courage in leadership. And if that means you only serve one term, then so be it. But God, let's get back to the basics of good government.
I like the premise of your question on the one term, but let me ask you, Jeanette, how do you get it done? We have yet to have a governor, I can't remember, that has the guts to actually fire these hacks and say we've had enough.
You know what, Bill? A lot of the times it's with another group of hacks that are politically connected on the other side.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, look, this governor, I think the first thing he has to do is appoint qualified people to head up these departments and give them, the authority to fire people, to hire new people. But there's also civil service, regulations in place. You can't just fire everybody at will. A lot of people have civil service protections.
The most important job for a top executive, whether it's in government or somewhere else, is hire good managers and delegate responsibility. And if he's able to do that and prioritize, right, lead from the top, have clear vision of what you want. He's talked about some of that on the campaign, particularly around New Jersey Transit. That's the goal for him.
We'll see. All right. A lot hanging in the balance, a lot more to talk about. But thanks, guys. Always good to see you, Bill. Thank you, Jeanette, Bob, and Laura. See you soon.